and we're coming together
Yes.
to announce possibly the biggest thing, the biggest business we'll ever build.
We have created our own drink company. Yes!
What if the biggest drink craze of the past 2 years is nothing more than clever marketing and hype? With Logan Paul and KSI at the forefront, Prime Hydration has taken the world by storm. But beneath the flashy labels and viral videos, is there more than meets the eye? Before we get into this video, why don't you take a second to subscribe to our channel and like this video?
I think Logan Paul was a benefit there, a delayed reaction, and maybe the referees thought that the punch wasn't the cause of the knockdown.
It seems fine though right now.
You remember when Logan Paul and KSI were deep in their fierce boxing rivalry, right? It had everyone glued to their screens, waiting for that final decisive match. Their first fight had ended in a draw, while the second fight gave KSI a win that many found controversial. So when the two announced a joint Instagram Live, fans immediately assumed it was time for round 3, the ultimate rematch. The anticipation was sky high. People thought they were about to witness another epic clash between these two titans of YouTube. But instead of announcing another fight, they revealed a drink partnership. Yes, that's right, a drink.
I gotta tell you something, man.
What you gotta tell me, man?
That second fight,
Mm.
I think you won fair and square. I said it.
This was the perfect bait and switch. Logan Paul and KSI expertly used their rivalry to capture the attention of millions. Everyone was primed, pun intended, for a massive showdown. And just when the world was expecting a fight announcement, they flipped the script with Prime Hydration. It was brilliant. Two rivals, supposedly at each other's throats, suddenly joining forces for a business venture. The shock alone was enough to keep the buzz alive for weeks. Prime Hydration didn't just take off because it was a good drink, or because Logan Paul and KSI are popular. No, the real genius behind Prime's success was scarcity marketing. And honestly, it was both brilliant and a little sneaky. In the UK especially, Prime was hard to come by. It wasn't like you could just walk into any supermarket and grab a bottle. They made sure to release only small amounts to select stores, creating this massive frenzy. Suddenly, Prime wasn't just a hydration drink, it became a prized possession. People would queue up for hours just to get their hands on it. Shops would sell out within minutes of opening. Imagine standing in line for a drink like it's the latest iPhone. That's what was happening. The harder it was to find, the more people wanted it. And of course, social media played its part in blowing things up even more. There were TikTok videos, Instagram posts, and YouTube clips of people documenting their desperate search for Prime. The more people talked about how rare it was, the more others wanted it.
Drink it, they fill it up with water. As long as they keep having it, it's not about drinking it, I think it's about having the bottle.
And that's not even the end of it. The resale market went wild. Prime bottles were selling for ridiculous prices, with some auctions reaching several $1,000s for just a single bottle. Can you imagine paying that much for a drink? Kids were even bringing empty Prime bottles to school, filling them up with water, and flaunting them to show off their status. It wasn't even about the drink anymore. It was about what carrying a bottle of Prime said about you. If you had one, it meant you were in the know, part of the cool crowd, or just lucky enough to find one. But let's be honest here, it was all about creating hype and demand. By making Prime difficult to get, they made it seem more exclusive than it was. It wasn't just a hydration drink anymore. It became a status symbol, something that people would go out of their way to buy, whether they liked it or not. And the fact that Prime was banned in some schools only made it more appealing to teenagers. As soon as something gets banned, it becomes more desirable, right? That's exactly what happened with Prime. The hype around Prime wasn't just about scarcity. It also came with a fair share of controversy, which, let's be honest, only fueled the frenzy. Once parents started looking closer at Prime, they weren't exactly thrilled with what they saw. Concerns popped up about the artificial ingredients used in the drink. It wasn't long before schools got involved, and in some places, Prime was outright banned. The reason? It wasn't just about the health concerns. The drink had turned into a status symbol. Kids felt like they needed to have it to fit in, and the pressure was on. Ironically, the ban only made Prime even more appealing. Think about it. The moment something is labeled as forbidden, especially for teenagers, it becomes 10 times more attractive. Suddenly, Prime wasn't just a drink, it was a rebellious statement. Kids would go to extra lengths to get their hands on a bottle, just to show they had something they technically weren't supposed to. In this sense, Prime's rise is eerily similar to how Red Bull became popular back in the day. When Red Bull first hit the market, it stirred up controversies, with people questioning its safety and wondering whether it was good for young people. But all that negative attention, it just made Red Bull cooler. Prime followed the same playbook. When people think of Prime, the first names that come to mind are Logan Paul and KSI. They're the faces plastered all over the marketing, the ones hyping it up on social media and in viral videos. But here's the thing, Logan and KSI aren't the real owners of Prime. Sure, they have a significant stake in the company, but the real brains behind the operation, that would be Max Clemens and Trey Steiger of Congo Brands. These two are the masterminds pulling the strings behind the scenes, and they're the ones who truly own Prime. Clemens and Steiger aren't new to the game. They've been perfecting influencer marketing long before Prime was even a thing. Their company, Congo Brands, has done this before with other products. Take Alani Nu, for example. That brand, which caters to the fitness market with energy drinks and snacks, blew up after it partnered with fitness influencer Katie Hearn. Alani Nu went from being just another fitness product to raking in millions in sales, all thanks to Congo's savvy use of influencers to push the brand. It's no coincidence that Prime followed a similar trajectory. What Congo Brands did with Logan Paul and KSI was pure genius. They saw the potential in these two influencers, who already had a massive following and a public rivalry that kept people hooked. Instead of hiring them as mere promoters, Congo took it a step further by making them the face of Prime. This wasn't just a typical brand deal, it was a calculated move. Clemens and Steiger knew exactly how to leverage the fan bases of Logan and KSI to create a marketing storm that no traditional advertisement could ever match. Prime's journey started with viral videos, social media buzz, and hype among kids and teens. But now, the brand is aiming for something bigger, legitimacy in the sports world. They've already managed to break into the market hugely, but if Prime wants to stay relevant, it needs to be more than just a trendy drink. That's where sports marketing comes in. Prime is taking a page straight out of Red Bull and Gatorade's playbook, partnering with top-tier athletes like Erling Haaland. And let's be real, this is no small move. Haaland isn't just any athlete. He's a superstar in the world of football, with a global following that spans across age groups. By linking Prime to his name, the brand gets instant credibility. It's not just the drink that kids buy for clout anymore. With athletes like Haaland promoting it, Prime is positioning itself as a serious contender in the sports hydration game. It's a smart shift, moving away from being just a flashy product to something that could rival giants like Gatorade and Red Bull, which have long dominated the sports drink market. But here's the thing, while this sports marketing strategy is impressive, Prime is still leaning heavily on the same formula that got them here: celebrity influence. Logan Paul and KSI are still the faces of the brand, and now they've added star athletes to the mix. The question is, how long can this influencer-driven model last? Celebrity hype can only take you so far. At some point, Prime will need to prove that it's more than just a cool brand with famous faces. Can it compete with the decades of research, development, and loyalty that Gatorade and Red Bull have built? It's a tricky balance. On one hand, Prime's connection to athletes like Haaland could help the brand break into new, more mature markets, appealing to people who are looking for more than just a trendy drink. But on the other hand, if they're still relying too much on the celebrity factor, there's a risk that the hype could eventually die down. After all, trends fade, and the next big thing is always around the corner. So, what are your thoughts on this? Let us know in the comments below.